Hello, welcome to Unsung Heroes of the Cloud. Today we've got actually a special tribute to someone who's been really important to the community, certainly to us personally as well. Abel Wang, we'll talk about that in a moment. Then we'll talk about Kudu, which is a super important tool that lots of folks should know about. And with that, I will hand it over to the experts, Mike and Nills, to talk about the heroes.
Hey, thanks, Matt, for introducing us again. I think this is episode 11 or 12. I lost count already. It's going so fast. And talking about fast, Matt already said it. This will be a little bit of a tribute because attentive viewers will probably see that Nils and I are wearing the same T-shirt, even if we are like worlds apart for the moment. Maybe Nils, you can highlight a little bit on what we're saying here.
Yeah. For those of you who can't see it clearly, but the T-shirt is a tribute to Abel Wang, and the T-shirt says, "Don't accept the defaults," one of his many quotes. Abel Wang was one of Microsoft's, I'd say, leading cloud advocates, cloud evangelists who recently passed away. And I think his loss really hit Mike and us on a certain personal level. And I remember we talked about it privately as well. And one of our fellow colleagues, April Edwards, set up a campaign to sponsor Girls Who Code, which was also an NGO that Abel was supportive of. And buying the T-shirt helped Girls Who Code. And it's a tribute to one of our lost leaders, and I think it's just a really cool way for Mike and me to pay tribute to Abel.
Yeah, indeed, he's a we can call him a sung hero now because all the community actually sung on him. It was really breathtaking to see how the community reacted to that, and a lot of people chipped in on that. So that's really nice. But we miss you dearly, Abel, every single day.
Yes, do mean that. Exactly. And the one thing I would say is Mike and I actually did not script any of this. When we came on, we always have like a little pre-show between the two of us just to check before the show. And we noticed that we both were wearing these T-shirts, and I think it's just stars that align somewhere. And I think we both just wanted to do a silent homage, but because we both were wearing the same shirt, it's become a spoken homage to Abel.
Yeah, indeed. And this is indeed maybe something that he totally deserves. Yeah.
Yes, he totally deserves that. But that said, for people who want to get the same shirt, it's still on sale on Bonfire. We'll put a link in the description on YouTube, and I think both of us will retweet the link again, so you can definitely find the link to both honor Abel, support Girls Who Code, and get an awesome looking T-shirt.
Yeah, that's also part why we're doing this, because we are a community and we community share, and this is for us also very important to support Girls Who Code and be respectful for Abel Wang for his last wishes. That's about it.
Exactly.
Okay. Lighter topics of the day, maybe. That's that's a swing. I know, but it's always hard to change subject on something so serious and then go back to something lighter. But today, Nils, you want to do the introduction on what I'm going to talk about? I'm going to do it myself.
I can do a little segue, Mike. And what Mike has prepared for us is, I would say, a true unsung hero in Azure. It's a small little tool called Kudu, which you can use in app services and functions, which gives you a lot of additional power to either deploy your application, debug your application, and Mike has some things prepared. And Mike, why don't you take us away?
I'll start by that's something you don't hear. Let me screen, right?
So, I don't have any background noise from you.
Right. Is it me or is it you? We have bad connection.
What's going on, Mike? Because I don't have any background noise.
Yeah. you're having a bad connection somehow. Let's see. Let's do this. I'm not able to share my screen. Oh, I need. Is it wrong here? I cannot share my screen. Why am I? All right.
New computer?
Production? I need some help here. Yeah. No. I selected it. For some reason, it's stating that I am not allowed to screen. Please ensure that you have all permissions. Did I miss? We've done this before, right?
Yes, we have done this before.
There we are. Let's try it again. Maybe if I do screen one. Is this new? Because typically we don't have an issue. It's getting my screen. Apparently screen is shared, right? All right.
Okay. I think we just need to set that over introduction. And
So,
I can see. Yeah, it's coming up, Mike. You're good.
Okay. So, all right, good. All right, finally. All right. So Kudu is something really important, as Nills already said. And the cool thing about Kudu is that it's feeder for everything what you need in app services. Now, and typically I don't like to do that, but just to highlight where Kudu is and how this is working for you, I'm going to show a little slide here. This is an older. Kudu is actually an extension on your existing app service app services. So if you use an Azure App Service, you actually have Kudu as a pre-installed site extension inside of your Azure website, and it will a lot what you don't realize. Now today, Kudu is a little more visible than it used to be in the past. It was well hidden by some mysterious ways. And a lot of the things are already back exposed inside of app services, but still there's a lot of valuable information still to be found in Kudu or even Kudu interfaces, because it's not only the console that you get in Kudu, and I will quickly show you in a second what that actually is, but it's all the APIs that you can use and that you actually are using again when you're using CLI and or just post and other stuff that you can do on that level. Now, if we take a look at the I was a little bit too fast in. If I then take a look at the of Kudu, it's actually built for deployments. You have a debug console. You can check the entire install base in the app service, what it is running on. But it also has the entry point for everything which is Git and deployment control. So there's also a direct link there. And important way you want to be using this one. So there's a lot more to get. The other stuff that you have. You also have the web directed and site extensions and deployment hooks and virtual. There's for when you take pretty seriously. Of course, slide is just a slide, and we are Azure Unsung Heroes. We typically go with a demo only. the Azure portal actually hidden in here. So if you go downstairs into an Azure App Service, is there, but it's still well hidden, and you can just access it immediately from advanced tools and then just press the go button. Because Kudu, as I mentioned, is an extension. What you do need to do is to do the specific website itself, Azure URL that it's generated when you deploy a new website. So that's this one. And you will see that it's just a normal website. And if I just do this, you will see that this is just plain HTML file. Now, if I go into between base name of the website, so the website name, and the Azure website's domain, I can actually place SEM and then a dot extra. So that way we extend our URL. And this way we segue into the Kudu. So if a second, this is the first thing that you actually see. The Kudu is yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I had one question here. Adding the .sem in between the prefix and Azure websites, and then using the Azure portal to go to the link, do you get to the same destination, or are those different entry points into Kudu?
No, that's the same entry point. So if you go to the website here, so this is, if I click on the advanced tools, you mean, right? That was what you meant, right?
That's what I meant.
We'll actually go inside of the. If you want to remind yourself how you and it's just in the and it even goes a little bit further. Same SCM, same extension will actually allow you to go into another tool, which is also a side effect of Kudu, which is called Monaco, and you can actually, which is now called the App Service Editor, which is also an extension built on top of Kudu, which is also using all these extensions that hand. So this is a little bit how they work together. And as you can see, the serving kind of entry side content management that you're going to do, and the SCM stands for. Okay, so if we then take a look at the Kudu service itself, what can we do here? Well, first of all, we have an environment. This will give you a lot of information about the app. Sure thing. There we go. That better? Maybe a little bit too big. There we go.
That's better.
So if you have, if you take a look at the what Kudu really is actually this is a proof that app services, when you deploy them, is running on Windows or on Linux. Because if you do this on a Linux, this will be much more minimized than we have it on a Windows environment. Yeah? You can actually run Kudu yourself on your own server as an extension to your own websites if you want to, because it's an open source product. If you go to the GitHub pages, github.com, that's, I believe it's Azure/Kudu, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know it by look. Then we will see that takes a while. You will actually be able to deploy, so you can just run this, and it's been existing since the beginning. So if you still, for those who had been doing Azure websites in the old system, Antadis was the first version of this, and this is where the integration was being built up, and it's still being maintained, so you can still download it from there. What is important is all the information that you get by. First of all, you can get to see all the runtime versions that you have inside of the environment. So if I open this link, you will actually see all the runtimes that are supported inside of a specific site. You also will be able to see different extensions, all the files, but even all the settings and the deployments that you have. And if you take a look at the settings, you will also take a look at all the different application things you have in IIS. You here you have all the functionality, host configurations for functions, and it works everything which is doing services in the underground. So functions will also be supportive of this. Okay. Then we have the second part, which is really, really cool, which is called the console. I can just go into PowerShell here. Yes, there's a PowerShell inside of Kudu, but you can even use the CMD, so the line CLI. If it's a Linux environment you're hosting on, so web apps on Linux, then it will be a bash environment. That's right, because you will not have PowerShell natively on Linux, but you will have it installed if you want to. And now just do anything, and this is the proof that this actually is a full IIS server, and it is Windows based, because I'm actually doing a git process. This is and it's showing W3 WP, which is our lovely IIS host action executable. There's a lot more that you can do here, because actually this is really, really cool. I get a tad smaller because that way you can see it better. You see all these directories here. These are actually the top level directories that you have in here. But the cool thing is, if you go to site, did you see what happened? Click on this, and actually this will change along with it. So the directory browsing be alongside. So if I just do this, I go up, this will go up too. So it's interacting in that kind of a way, which is really cool. Now, cool. There's another couple of things that you can do here. Yeah, a couple of things that you can do here. First of all, as you've seen here, I have a website just running here. Let's go. It's this HTML file that I have. Basically stupid. Let's even make our words a little bit more. I can from here out, and this is a very basic Monaco editing feature. I'm just going to say here, with a tribute to Abel, save this. If I now do an F5 on this thing, you will see that it immediately changed. So I change files on the fly. It's just like, of course, we don't want to do that, but you could, right? So that's the thing that you can do. But it goes even beyond that. And this is where it becomes more and more, because it has an interface of, let me just quickly get rid of this. I can just delete this thing. Okay. It has an interface. If I go over back to the, where are we? If I go back to this view, the cool thing is that I can do zip deployments here. So I have a zip file here with an index.zip file, and I'm just, as a proof that I actually doing this, I'm just going to delete this file. I can even delete files here, so that's pretty easy. There's nothing there anymore, right? It's showing that there's nothing there anymore. I'm just going to drag and drop this here. I'm going to drag this here and upload and unzip it, and immediately that index file is there again. So there you have it. And as you will see here, if I now do a refresh, you will see that it returned back to its original state. Now that same interface can be used as a deployment maker. And this is where the coolness happens, because Kudu is also a Git and source control management system that allows you to do builds also. So how can you use those? First of all, there's a zip configuration page. So if you go to tools, you will see that there's a zip push deploy. So this uses the same mechanism that I just demonstrated deployment. As you can see, I didn't deploy something really big, but I'm going to use a, I can just drop that zip file here again, but I can also do this on the command line. So if I just go here, I have my, and I did that earlier, I have a, there we go, that's better. I'm going to deploy again the sheets. Yeah, it's the note. I'm just going to go with this one for a second. So I have this, yeah, this one. So I'm going to deploy to this Unsung Kudu app. So I'm just going to do this. Here we go. it goes when I press enter. So that's the same zip file to the same FTP. And if I'm doing this, you will see now while I'm doing this, and if I just quickly do a refresh here, you will see change. We'll actually have a new deployment happening. So, and here's the, give it a second, it's still doing, should. What is it waiting for? So I'm waiting for something, come on. Should be deploying. Come on.
You should have paid a tribute to the demo gods as well.
I did. Go. Damn it. Come on. There we go. Let's try that again. Ali. Ooh, I broke terminal, it seems. Right. Let's try that again. Piano. Up. One step at a time. All right, let's try that again. Hopefully this will now work better. You get the idea. You saw, so that it's the same deployment. So if once that has been done, you actually have the deployment script of that. Deploy everything else that you can do. Really, really nice, and I shouldn't be doing it, but there's still a else of it, a local git deploy, and use the same Kudu interface to do a full git deploy. So what I did earlier is I created a new web app, and here I said deployment local git. That's an older way of doing it, instead of doing it with GitHub Actions or Azure DevOps pipelines if you didn't have that. The cool thing is it has its own endpoint, as you can see here. It will generate a Git URL, and it will generate a user for that. Usually a little bit the same like the FTP user is going to use to do FTP deployments against your Azure App Service. So what you can do then is, I have here Git interface, and I have here my Unsung. Let's go to this one. Yeah. So I'm having this one. But I'm going to look at my Kudu hero of the day, and I'm going to add it as a remote Git URL, and I'm going to do a Git push inside of the website itself. So here we have that one. Come on. Clear this for a second because I wanted to demonstrate that, and then I'm going to do a git push Azure. I think something broke because it's really, really slow. The first time this happens with Restream.
And I think part of the issue might be bandwidth issues, because you've been intermittently cutting in and out as well. So it might either be low bandwidth or just
yeah, I think so.
Not paying tribute to the demo gods.
I think that's the thing. I should have sacrificed something today to make sure that it works a little bit better. Let me just try to again. Come on. And just for the sake of speed, I will just try to kill something here, so that way I can. There we go. Let's see if that works better. There we go. Let's see if that will work. So let's try that again. CLS. There it is. So I did add the mastering. So what I'm doing now is so there was a node site that I deployed. This is just a basic hello world, and this will do now a git push immediately with the Kudu and update the Kudu references. And normally I should get a pop-up somewhere stating that I have my credentials typed out. Let's see, where are they? Come on. Should be coming up. Ale. Come on. This is annoying.
Yeah, but Mike, what we can always do if you're not getting the pop-up is, I think you gave a really good overview of Kudu already. We could potentially do a wrap-up here, and if people are interested, they could let us know either in the comments on YouTube or via Twitter. If they want to go further into Kudu, we can always pick it up again in a couple of weeks and hopefully then make a tribute to the demo gods. We could sacrifice your firstborn child, and hopefully that'll go smoother.
Probably where it gets pushed to master is set change anything. That's normal, and no changes. So that should be that. There's a couple of more things that you use Kudu for. You can use it to download everything in regards to use. So if you have logging or IIS dumps that you want to have, you can actually do them from there out too. And this can also be found inside of the tool. So you have a diagnostic dumps, and even when you took a look at the process explorer, which is also very nice to show. And I stop talking because that's but this is fast to show. Actually be able to it's not. There's something really, really bad going on here. All right, yeah, so here we go. So what you can actually do here is to start profiling, but also to collect memory dumps and full dumps of your memory. So to troubleshoot better your processes that are running underneath. This is especially good when you're doing webhooks and all the specific web jobs. So that way you can actually process and monitor these from that perspective. So yeah, that's Kudu in a nutshell. For me, it's one of the oldest unsung heroes there is. Not a lot of people realize the power of Kudu, especially when you're using it in combination with ACLI and the that you can call. A lot of good documentation on their docs, although it's well hidden, but and there's mentions it still stays hidden, and even the Kudu page has a lot of valuable information if you want to drill down and go immediately to the documentation itself as Project Kudu in the Kudu wiki. It's actually Project Kudu that I wanted to show instead of Azure/Kudu, but you get the idea.
Yeah, get the idea. And I would definitely agree that Kudu is one of the oldest unsung heroes. I remember when I first got introduced to Azure and I discovered the tool, this was so useful to just go ahead and debug my website, upload a couple files, make some minor changes. And it's not how you should do things in production, because friends don't let friends right-click deploy. But that said, it's a useful tool in development, in testing, just to try some things out and make some minor tweaks and changes.
Indeed, and combine that with App Service, then you have the full power of everything behind there. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so that's about it for today. It's a shorter. Unsung. The last couple of ones were a little bit long, but still, I believe this is valuable for our community when it comes down to using apps a little bit more better, which is also App Service is so underestimated and undervalued when it comes down to the power of true cloud development. And since there's a lot of dependencies on app services like functions and everything that comes along with, we should embrace these tools a little bit more. But hey, that's speed.
I agree. But Mike, thanks for showing the demo. I also want to silently thank you again for joining me in the what I was hoping was going to be a silent tribute, but we made it a spoken tribute. For the people who are interested in getting one of these t-shirts, I already retweeted the link to the Bonfire website. The link will also be in the description of this video. And with that, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks, Mike, for showing us this demo. And let's just see each other again in our next episode. Thanks, everybody. See you, Mike.
Yep.